All right, so with our covers, everybody can start with, if you'd like, you're going to get a piece of the blank white nameplate. Now, the nameplate does not have to stay this size or shape. The other thing that you're not going to do is we're not going to just straight up write our name on here. Okay, I want you to think creatively. I want you to actually look at your project and think about parts or elements of the project that you could use to, develop your nameplate. Now, if I look at this cover here, all right, I see that I've got a lot of vertical. I've got the colors, I've got the elements within the shape going on here. So I've got this whole area, or this area, or this area. So, theoretically, I could do something that goes here, like a book title or a headline shape. Or maybe I want to work with the vertical movement of my piece, and I want to do something, that goes here as a vertical. So what I want to do, I want to look at what I have. So I've got some really cool designs in here, right? This shape. Could I make my name out of any of these shapes? So can I take freeform shapes, for example, like this right here? I can look at this curved horseshoe shape with the line in it, and my last name starts with A-M-M-E, A. Can I make an A out of that type of shape? Sure. So I can just, on my paper here, just sketch it out. Maybe I want to kind of recreate lightly that shape and make it into an A for my last name. So it's got that little circle in there. So basically I'm using elements of my mandala as part of my design element. So then I would continue with the M, and the E. I might have to recreate them. And this is what I ended up with. All right, you can see I made a couple little points on the shapes of the letters to make them a little bit more accurate. I have the same color here as I do inside the center of that shape there. So I'm using elements of my design to unify the whole thing with the nameplate. Now when I colored it, I did something similar to what I did here. All right, I used a medium brown in the bottom, right on the bottom edge of it. And there's my nameplate for that. Now again, I can go back in, and once I have this stuff established, I can look to maybe use other parts of my mandala. Maybe I want to trace some more of these shapes in here, or some other way to kind of unify the whole thing. But I think that's a really good start for that one. Okay, now, some of my other ones, if I don't want to try to freehand that, I could choose to use the letter stencils. All right. So I have my nameplate here, and I'm using the letter stencils, and I'm just overlapping and, changing the placement. So the M, I'm going to overlap, and where I overlap them, I'm going to make it appear to overlap. So I'm going to trace and skip. Go ahead and ink it. That allows me I could then cut this out in an interesting way, in an irregular shape, instead of leaving it in that, just that plain rectangle. I could add color. I could find colors from my designs. The other thing that you could do is, as I said, if you look at your design, what shapes do you have? You can see here, I did these creative teardrop shapes, and I'm recreating the letters A, M, M. I could do the E using the same kind of teardrop shape, and just creatively develop how you want your nameplate to appear. So here I could kind of go with that, and then I could add some ink in there, and I could do some color in there. All right, so some of the other options that you have too without using stencils is using shapes. So here's this one cover here. All right, I got my overall cover. Circle designs are a big part of this one. So what I did was I thought within this negative space here, if I use the circle concept and I use the circle and I just figured out a creative way to put my name inside of the circle, and then I could put the circle right there for my nameplate on that cover. Kind of ties it all together and unifies the whole thing. One other option I had here on this one, this is the other example that I did, right? I got Mr. and I went with the triangular shapes. I got the die cut over here. What I did was 2 right triangles. I wrote Mr. And then, if you kind of look closely, I stylized the letters from the triangle. So there's the A, the M, and the E. And then I just went in with colors that I used here with the colored pencil, and I just added a little bit of a fade in there just to tie and unify the whole thing together. All right? So really start to think creatively about how you're going to plan on presenting your nameplate, because it's just as important. It's just as important as the overall design concept.